Hello, Breakfast Club. I hope you're enjoying your coffee and your croissant. I'm responding to JJ's video from yesterday, kicking off a new week. About her video was called Incest, Normal, Gross, Indifferent. And JJ's asking us to think about uncomfortable things, to think about things objectively and not just by our gut reaction. Because my gut reaction was, I think, pretty predictable. Ugh, that is instinctively talking about incest seems wrong in some way and in some sort of atavistic gut way. So today we are talking about something uncomfortable. It's something, as I say, most people instinctively react against. JJ asks us to think about things objectively. We can ask if it's natural, though of course we know that nature doesn't really play into morality, or I don't think it really plays into morality. We need to look at the issues around meaningful and informed consent, or whether this is actually a quote-unquote victimless crime. We need to consider the power dynamics that are at play in a given relationship, and we can acknowledge that while there is a taboo, it's that's very widespread. It's by no means universal. It's something that has happened at different times and places in the world. It's something that most people wouldn't want to do, but there is, of course, a liberal, and I mean liberal in the sense of classical liberal, a liberal argument saying that people generally should be able to do what they want to do, so long as it doesn't hurt other people. Now, this certainly has the potential to hurt other people, but does it necessarily do that? No, I'm not actually talking about incest. I'm talking about cannibalism. As I said, when I originally saw the video topic, my reaction was, ugh. But actually thinking about it, I think possibly in some ways it's actually quite similar. I take on board a lot of what JJ says, and it's entirely possible that there are relationships which we would call incestuous, so close blood-kin relationships, which we personally might not want to engage in, but that in and of itself is by the by, but where there are no substantial issues around consent and so on. I mean, I think the classic one that gets raised is the one that's mentioned a lot, is siblings who are separated at birth, never knew each other, but then find they have a particular connection if they meet later on in life. So it's possible to think of a situation where actually issues of consent don't matter, but the issue that and the other thing is, you have people concerned about like health things for children that come off. Well, are you going to stop me reproducing, given that short-sighted and all the rest of it? As similarly with cannibalism, you have this. I can't remember what it is. There's something. It's a prion disease, something similar to BSE, that certain tribes who practice cannibalism have sort of occurring in them as a result of it. But that in itself, if people are actually informed, isn't a problem. The main issue, though, is you can come up with these, I think, slightly academic ideas where these situations where consent isn't a problem, or you're happy about it, and say actually no, generally everything is okay. We're happy for this to go on. What I would suggest, though, is there are very few cases where that's actually going to be true. That in the great majority of cases, there are going to be real and substantial problems around consent and around abuse and around the nature of the relationship. I'm thinking of a case in Germany from a couple of years ago where somebody had agreed that somebody else could eat them after they died. I'll find the details and post them in the information box. Now, it may be that in that case there were no problems with consent. The person was like, "No, I'm actually happy with this. When I'm done, I'm not using my body anymore. If somebody wants to use it, that's fine." The problem, of course, is the potential for abuse that opens, apart from the immediate reaction of, How do you set up safeguards for something like that, which is quite unusual, to make sure you don't have an abuse going on. So, an interesting question. Tomorrow usually would be Kate Barnick Dance, but I believe it's Tommy from the Bronx filling in. So, Tommy, it is over to you. I'm Landon Cole, and I hope you enjoyed that accompaniment to your morning repast.